Cool. Hi. My name is Mark, and we will solve the Advent of Code 2015 6th day. And I somewhat cheated, and no, I did not. So I had a solution-ish thing 1.5 hours ago, but I was running into a problem, and I have been debugging it for, I don't know, like an hour. So we will just keep that point, and we will re-implement this thing. I did drop the commit of it, so we will come back and re-implement this thing. Cool. I will just do one copy with the 6th day, and there should be 6 test, 6 prod, and hopefully I will not mess up the content of the files. So there should be 6. Wait. Yeah. Let's rename this one. So this should be 6 prod. Cool. Let's close everything. Delete this thing. Re-download the puzzle input. Yep. Copy. Paste. This is the quote-unquote production input. And we should go with this one as well. I will just format this thing in the 6th test. This is not that, but this one. We don't need you, thank you. It should be this. And this one should be like this. Looking good. So the whole exercise, at least the first half of it, is about that you have to create a grid of lightning bulbs or LED bulbs, whatever things, and there will be some instructions, and it will be provided by this puzzle that we just downloaded. It should look like something like this. There will be 3 kinds of actions that you can do with a given lightning bulb, diode or such things. So there will be turn on, toggle, turn off, a pair of numbers, some filling words that from these things to these things, but these things will never change, so we will omit this thing, we will just delete it. And on the right hand there will be the end coordinates. Cool. So we should copy this thing. Let's rename it to 6th. Actually, I should have been called it 6 or something like that, but we will come back to that part. Cool. We don't need those. Not even those. It should be 6th. 6th. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't need it, but yes. Whatever. We don't need the first nor the second, so I will just put 2 and 2 here, and we will have some solutions. It should be 6 and 6. It might be angry at us a little bit. No vowels are necessary. And this should be the 6th day with example and content, and we will get back to this part later. Cool. So, in order to read this thing, we should modify the librs, and we should add the 6th thing, and it will read this thing, and hopefully it will point out the only issue that we have. Cool. We added a bunch of things. Let's look at the files. 6 prod, 6 test, looking good. Quick commit. Yeah. Change this thing at the D. No, we don't want you. Nobody wants you. Yeah, we don't want this thing, and we will commit chore 2015 6th day first solution. This is actually not a solution, but just a quote-unquote chore thing. Let's remove this thing as well. So how can we, first of all, read all of these things? We should add a few functions or traits or some data structures that will represent some of the inner state or quote-unquote things that are in our application. So as you have seen, we do have some points, I mean coordinates, and we might say that we want to create a type which can be, I don't know, a point, and it can be this thing. Do we want it like this? Yeah. And since we did this, we can implement a new function, a constructor-ish thing, and I will go ahead and add the other things as well. So one instruction, and I already said something, and I will say we need an instruction, which should be added as an action and a value. Wrong, because we need an enumerator, which can be called action, because we want to turn on, off, and we might be toggling this thing. It's all, I mean, I'm almost always adding partial, equal, and equals with enumerators, because you probably wanted to check those things out. So one instruction consists one action, one start, and an end point. And since we are doing some operations with strings, we want to create, and since we do not want to store these instructions, we want to read them. It is a good practice. Almost. We will do something else. So we will implement try from, and we want to read it from a stir, and we want to create it for the action. Okay, match value on, off, toggle. But this is not just on, off, and toggle, because it should be, what is it? Yeah. Not like that. We should say if this thing starts with turn on, it will be a turn on. Good stuff. As if turn off, toggle, and when not of these things has been present, we should return with an error. So we can, we will be able to convert a string, I mean a stir reference, into one action. Good stuff. What else? So if we want to create an instruction, that would be a good way to create all of its inner field from a stir, and we should do another thing with the whole instruction struct as well. So I will implement a point as well. I mean, I will implement the try from stir for point. And I know it is represented as hello, thank you, question mark. What's going on here? Looking, please, don't be nice. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. So since we know that it will be divided or separated by a comma, then we know that we can create one point of a stir, or we cannot, because we are trying to do it. We cannot always return with it. Cool. So one instruction, we know how to read the action, and we know how to read the points, so we should be able to implement the try from stir for this instruction thing. And since it is not, yeah, we have to define this thing. Split white space action. Yeah. Yes and no. So GitHub is trying its best, but it is not true. So whenever we are splitting by white space, we kind of don't do the perfect thing. So since those things might be separated by spaces, it is not the same amount or number of things that it should be splitted. So we might say we want to go the other way around, and we might say we should pop the things. So we will say something like, let's read the point, let end, but not this. We can pop like this. No. Pip, pop. No. Because we have to recollect those as a vector of sir, like this. Easy peasy. So we can pop after that. So we will go backwards. So we will pop the last thing, and it will be the end. I mean, we are literally starting with the end, but it is what it is. After that, we have to pop one because we have this thing that no one cares about. It is just like me. And after that, we should do the same thing, and this should be the start. Yeah. And there should be the remaining part, which should be this. And to achieve the previous state of it, we should join everything. Yeah, just like that. We have to rejoin those because we want to put these things back. Yeah, we might even try to do it with the pop as well, because we are interested in on, toggle, and off. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, looking good. So we have been going backwards, and this filling word, the start, and after that the action. That's a lot of code. We have to do, I mean, we should do at least one test just to be sure. Function instruction can be instruction. Yeah, looking good. So we should be able to create one instruction, I mean, from a string. And yeah, so we are in a little bit of a pain point right now because we do not know how to apply this binary operator for points. So we should come back here and we should do some you know, partial, equal, and such things. And after that, we will be able to check out what's going on here. Cool, let's run the tests, and after that we can this is cargo test, looking good. Hopefully it will fail. So yeah, so we did not implement anything regarding the whole thing yet. So I will be pretty rude and comment this thing out as well. Or I should just skip it, but everything is working for now. Let's create one commit because we've been big brainers. And yeah, whatever. Git commit. That's a chore, not a quar. Chore. 2015, 6th day, first solution, structs, traits. Mostly have been implemented. I probably have a few typos there in my commit message, but never mind. So in order to calculate these things, we should have some things, and coming back, we should apply a few more data structures and traits and those stuff. No, not this one. So we should have a type, maybe? So we might say that we have a grid, and since we know from the description that this grid will be always that much, it's, yeah, we can do this rather. And since we know that this is the, ooh, hello. So this is the, and it should be bool at this point. It's kind of doing some spoilers and such, but the grid, the current grid should be that much. So on the first thing, and I know I'm writing things in a completely chaotic manner, but I do not care. So we should do some apply on grid at this point, and we should apply one instruction, which we will call instruction on this grid. So the grid, since we want to mutate it, it should be a mutable reference to this grid, and it can be void because we don't want to return with anything. It cannot fail, hopefully. Yeah, so what should happen? So yeah, we should go through the grid, and based on the instruction starting and ending point, based on the action which has been included in the instruction, we should turn it on, off, or toggle it. Cool. I will write a little helper function here. Function, yeah, it kind of cheated. So we should count the on, I mean, which is on after every instruction, and I will give one other helper function, apply on grid 2. Shut up. Apply instructions. So apply instructions. It will read instructions, which is obviously a vector of instructions, and we want to apply those on a grid, and we need the mutable thing, and we will go through all of the instruction and apply, I mean, to call this function. Cool, looking good. So coming back to our exercise, I mean, we totally forget about this thing, and it is still 2. Instead of this, we should create the instructions just like this, because we can create it based on every line's content, and we can recollect those. We might create a grid which is off by default, and we should return with the calculations. Let's run the tests. Looking good. And it passed because we commented out these things. Let's see what the results are here and there. It should be the one which I already applied and is good. So this is the first thing, and the second thing should be this one, and this should be the first solution as well. It is. So let's run the test again. Those should pass. We should commit, and we should jump on the second part of the thing, which we definitely will do, but we should commit first. Feature solve 2015 6th day first. So this is a solution for the first part, and the second part is a little bit odd because you have to not just think about in an on and off matter, but you have to switch gears a little bit. So there is an interesting thing here. So turning on, it will increase it by 1, turning off will decrease it by 1, and the toggle will increase it by 2. I'm not sure what is the brand of these lights, but yeah, whatever, we will see. So we should reapply this thing here, And since they provided this new example, we should feed it into our exercise, and we can do it by first exercise. That exercise example should be look like how can I create multi-line strings? Or I will not create multi-line strings. So new line here. Yeah, new line here. So this should be the new text, which we should expected example 1,000,000,000. Okay, we will see. So the thing now that we should create an ambient grid, and it should not be any longer, I don't know, bool, because we are not switching it on and off, but we are incrementing and decrementing some of the values. So we should create something similar to this, and we will not wrap it into different things, but we will create apply on ambient grid and such. So here these things will not be just true or false values, but we would, or we should, increment and decrement these things with 1 and 2. So the toggle should be just like that, but with not the value of 1, but okay. And we should do so we should even say this match, so based on the instruction, and we might even pass the current value here as well, because we cannot go negative. So we should what's going on here? So this will be, this is the end of the match. So yeah, so we should say in this match that if it is on and we don't care what's the current value. Yeah, I know about the missing things. So if it's on, we don't care about the previous value, we are just increasing it by 1. If it's off, and if it is 0, we are not decreasing anything. And if it's anything else, we are just removing 1. I mean, ooh, what's your issue? We already said that, bro. But Papa, I already said that it is bigger than 1. Excuse me? But I try to be polite, but whatever, we will come back to this part. And whenever it is anything else ever, actually, we will increase it by 2, because we are toggling. Come on. So I wanted to add -1 here. That's not good. So based on the action, I should be able to change the size of the value at the given index. But since I said that this is an unsigned thing, which it should, we don't want to subtract life from the environment. Okay, then we will switch to this thing. Action does not, yeah, copy, okay, I don't care at this point because that won't be that much of this thing. We can add the copy, right? Copy, right. We should clone it. I don't want to clone it, but yeah, we can do it here because it will be just for the lifetime of this part. So we've been here, so we can add the -1 here. Yes, so coming back to this part, so whenever it is 0, we won't change anything. Thank you, dictionary. And yeah, so we will hopefully not go under 0. Let's see what's going on. So we should do this thing for the ambient grid as well, not just a simple one, but with this thing, and we should apply increasing instructions, and we should apply on this thing. So, and we should count the brightness and not just the lit, but the brightness. And we should not do the if, but we should do this thing here probably. Let's see. Looking good. Shut up. Bool. Oh yeah. Obviously, because that's not that thing. And we should cast it to I32. And we should say this is an I32 as well. Act like it is just like that. Coming back to this part, instead of 2, we should do pretty much the same. But we should create an ambient grid, or grid ambient, based, with a simple this thing. And we should apply the increasing instructions, and we should count the brightness. Okay, let's give it a try. And before we would do that, we re-added all of the things, so it might do some calculations and such, and it is that thing. I'm not sure about this thing. So this should be, so the toggle increased the 2 million, and since we turned on one thing, it should be 2 million and 1. Yeah, so 1 plus this number. Looking good. So we should rerun this test, and the latest inequality thing here should be the result. So it is that number. We should put it here. We should rerun the test. It should produce the same thing. We should come here, paste the code here, submit, and we should get a new gold star. Cool. Next time we will jump on the 7th. Have a great day.